But guys, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up my guest, Mr. Troy Buckhold. He's a fantastic gentleman. He's going to talk to us about his journey, how he went from high school to tech sales, and then to his entrepreneurship journey. The journey along the way is what we're going to be talking about today, guys. Let's bring in Mr. Troy Buckhold. How are you doing, Mr. Troy?
Doing really well, Antoine. Really happy for you to bring me on your show and have myself share my story with your audience.
Absolutely. So Troy, for my audience who is interested into tech sales, who's interested into tech roles, who's interested into the journey of entrepreneurship, side hustles, tell people who is Mr. Troy, and then let's get into your journey.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Course Careers, and what we do is we train people online in technology sales, partner with companies to drop their degree and experience requirements for students who finish our course, and then help them get their first position, whether that's an internship or an entry-level permanent position. Really works for people coming from all backgrounds. We have 18-year-olds in our program. We have people in their 50s transitioning their career. Really doesn't matter as long as you have those foundational communication skills and work ethic, then there's a place for you in a career in tech sales.
I love it because we are a partner now myself. Now I'm working with Troy, and guys, you guys see it all the time because I had an opportunity to meet Troy, and I love his story, and I love what he's doing, giving people the opportunity to go into tech sales with a low barrier. And I want you to talk about your journey to creating Course Careers where you are right now, Troy, being a full-time entrepreneur. Tell people your journey. How did it start? Where did you start? How did you get on this path? Because the path is very important. There's going to be many nuggets that people can take away from you today to get to their entrepreneurship journey one day as well, too. So tell people how the early days of this whole thing started, your journey and so forth.
Yeah. So I definitely, there's been a lot of struggle in my career. So back in all the way at the start, so in high school, I remember at 16 years old, I was in a chemistry class, and a counselor walks in and they ask everyone, hey, who here is going to college? And out of my whole class, about 40 people, I was the only person who didn't raise my hand. And I thought this was crazy because at 16 years old, I mean, I'm part of Gen Z. So my whole life I was growing up with YouTube, online courses. Stanford was publishing their curriculum online for free. And I was just eating it all up. And I was actually a pretty decent student at the time in the math and science pathway, and on track for Georgia Tech, actually, before I decided that maybe there's a different way. Because at the time I was actually working as a server. So I was getting a little bit of the sales experience, people experience. And then I heard about a career in sales and just how lucrative it could be and how it really sets you up for entrepreneurship. Because starting a business really requires 3 foundational skills. You have to develop a product, and then you have to sell it. Either you're selling to companies, which requires sales skills, or you're selling to consumers, which require marketing skills. So really you need one of those skills to start a business. You either need to develop the product or be able to sell it through sales or marketing. And I realized that sales is just a really great opportunity. I heard about a career in tech sales, also known as sales/business development. So I decided I want to make that my path. So I didn't want to go to college. So I was working kind of these odd sales jobs, working as a server, trying to figure out how I could start my career. And it was really difficult because every single job wants you to have a 4-year degree. That's really the initial qualification for most of these companies. It's like a box you have to check. You're not getting an interview if you don't have that degree. And more so, a lot of these companies, they want previous work experience to professional work experience. So whether that's an internship or actually working in an office before or in a professional sales environment, both of which I didn't have. So it's like there's two big boxes I'm not checking as an 18-year-old who wants to start a career in tech sales. And I realized that you can't get an internship if you don't go to college. So internships, they're exclusive for current college students. So if you never go to college, you never have access to these opportunities, which open countless doors. I mean, in many cases, it's not the degree that opens the door. It's the internships you get and the relationships you build through college from the internships. So even if you graduate college and get a degree, but you've never had an internship before, a lot of people struggle to land positions because they never leveraged that opportunity. Yeah. So I wanted to start my career in tech sales. So what I did is I read every single book I could about sales development, watched every single YouTube video. I took a Udemy course. I followed blogs like the Sales Loft blog, Sales Hacker. It's basically every industry blog. And I try to sort of piece all the information together, which is really hard because in sales, there's a lot of bad information. Everyone kind of has their own opinion about what works. So I didn't really know what the industry standard was or what most companies wanted. So it was definitely a struggle, but I was able to learn as much as I possibly could. I went to an entrepreneur meeting, so a lot of like startups, and the founding team was there. And I just started networking and figuring out if they were hiring for sales development representatives. I found one company who was, and they're willing to start me off as an intern, even though I didn't go to college. Started with them as like a paid intern, making $15 an hour. 3 months later, I was a permanent SDR. Made about $50,000 in my first year, and that's at 18 years old with no debt. So it's pretty nice. And then, yeah. And then the next year, I was promoted to an enterprise account executive. And this is a startup, keep in mind. So it's like, if you're able to do the job, you get promoted. There is no like real promotional path. So I was actually sitting at boardrooms in person, closing large deals. So we had Luxottica, which is like the biggest eyeglass company out there. They make Ray-Ban, Oakley, and all of that. I live in Atlanta. They have big distribution centers here. Home Depot, Carter's baby clothing company. So closing some really big deals, bringing home 5-figure commission checks. So at 19 years old, my friends are just graduated high school. They're like freshmen in college. And we're going out and hanging out, and I'm showing them like commission checks over $10,000, which is, it's crazy because it's like, I mean, we've never seen that kind of money before. So it's literally eye-opening to me, and I was really, really conservative with my money. So I pretty much was just banking all of it. Still living, well, no, I moved out at 18 after I started making some money, and I mean, pretty comfortably supporting myself with, I mean, just being a single 18-year-old and really no expenses. So yeah, I was able to save up a lot of money. But my real passion was, just like you're talking about the book, you want to quit your job to find your passion. My passion, my mission was to help people start great careers without forcing them to go to college, because for specifically a career in technology sales, right, how much of what you learn in college is actually directly relevant to the job? Like maybe less than 5%. So I felt like there had to be a better way than just blanketly requiring a degree, because companies use that as the initial qualifier. So I was like, how can I help companies better identify great sales talent? And how can I help people better start careers in tech sales if they don't have the degree, if they don't have the previous work experience or the internships? So that's really why I started this business. It's been a struggle. So at the very start, it's like whenever you're trying to start your first business as an entrepreneur, it's like, how do you even get started, right? How do you develop a product? How do you market it? How do you form a legal structure right now? I mean, there's 100 different things you can do. Where do you spend your time? Where do you spend your money? So that was definitely a struggle to figure out how to get the initial momentum started. But really, it was a grind. So I guess the first V1 of Course Careers was a Word doc just filled with resources about different books to read, blogs to follow. And then every week was a call with myself. And it was completely free, actually. So I wasn't even charging for it. And then the way I marketed it was I went on Reddit sales and I just posted, hey, I'm looking to help some people start a career in sales development. I'm not charging anything. I'm just looking to get a couple success stories. So that's as like raw as it gets. I mean, if you don't know where to start, just do what you can do. So that's what I did. And I was able to help a handful of people start a career in sales development that way. Really, it's someone who was about 40 years old, coming from a background where they've never worked in an office before, never worked in sales. They don't have a degree. They've just been working at a manufacturing plant, pushing buttons in Indiana. And we were able to work together, put them through this really butchered course, and get them a job in sales development really quickly, and really prove that you can do it if you don't have a degree, just by learning the information and following the right process. Then we got another person, Abdul, into sales development too, the same way, and a few other people. And at that point, I kind of proved my theory that I can do this. Companies do value someone coming in with the specialized skills and knowledge required to do the job. Because right now, they're just really relying on a recent college graduate who doesn't really know much about tech sales, doesn't know what they want to do. So if you actually learn what the job entails and how to do it, you stand out. You really stand out. It doesn't matter if you have a degree or a work experience or not, you're going to stand out. So after I proved that out, I built the whole course. I got a software developer, built out the website, and then started reaching out to companies using my sales skills, by the way, which are like incredibly important. So my sales skills that got my initial students, my sales skills that got my initial companies to sign up, my sales skills that got this partnership. So it's like everything really, this whole business stemmed from my sales skills. If I didn't first start in sales, I don't think there would have ever been a chance for me to build this company. And now recently we've surpassed 7 figures. So we're pretty happy about that. So as a software company too, so if you can imagine, our revenue multiple is pretty significant. So it's like, 2 years ago, my net worth was, almost nothing. Then now it's like, it's crazy how much, like, you can get rich with having equity in a company. Either you make a high income and then you buy real estate for equity, you invest in stocks for equity, you join a startup, you get equity as an initial employee, or you found your own company to get the equity by creating a business. So it's like, you need equity to get rich, and like creating a company is a really, really good way to do that.
I love the story. I absolutely love the story. We're going to break this down, guys. We're absolutely going to break this down because, I say this. I say this. You gave a wonderful story of the journey that you've taken to get to where you are today, to a 7-figure company, right? A millionaire, right? And Troy, give people your age. You're a young man. You're a young man.
Yeah. I just turned 24, so.
He just turned 24, guys. He literally just turned 24 and is already a millionaire by creating his own company.